Welcome to the Childcare Genius podcast, proud to be the world's #1 community for brilliant childcare leaders. Each episode will feature interviews with the brightest minds in the childcare industry to guide you into becoming a smarter business leader. Our hosts have opened 10 schools while raising 5 children. They are certified business coaches and are the top-selling childcare business book authors of all time. This episode is sponsored by Elif Childcare Insurance. Give Blake a call at 972-232-2258 to get a free quote on childcare business insurance today. Let's welcome to the Childcare Genius podcast, our hosts, Brian and Carol Duprey.
Welcome to episode 59 of the Childcare Genius podcast.
We're your hosts, Brian and Carol Duprey. We're in for an exciting episode today. But we just got back from our Leverage conference in Jamaica, and boy, it was amazing. We are so excited. A little tan going on here. We had almost 100 people there in Jamaica with us. We're excited. And we wanted to let you know we're having an important announcement. In the next week or two, we're going to be announcing an amazing conference we're going to be holding this spring. So stay tuned for that announcement. So today we're going to have on our podcast, Angie Phay. And I've been coaching Angie for about a year now, and she's got a growing business in Tennessee. She's got 5 locations, and her business is just growing like crazy. She's a dynasty level client of ours, which is the highest level of VIP coaching that we offer. And with that level of coaching includes a site visit at our expense. So we spent some time with Angie. We were there last month, and we got to visit her schools. And now we're going to be better poised to coach her going forward over the next year, because we've actually seen her school, seen her program, met with staff members, saw where there was holes, found her hidden blind spots, and we found ways to increase her profitability quite significantly. So we're excited about that. So we're going to sit back, relax, and hope you have a great episode.
Let's get Angie on the line.
Hi, Angie. Welcome to Childcare Genius Podcast. How you doing today?
Hey, Brian and Carol, I'm doing great. How are you guys?
Good to see you again. We were just together just a few short weeks ago in Nashville, Tennessee.
Yeah, fun. It was a great day.
It was good. We got to spend an entire day together, got to tour most of your schools, got to meet several of your staff members, got to see your beautiful corporate office, got to drive around in your monster truck and see beautiful, hot Tennessee. Boy, you got some beautiful country out there.
It was humid that day, I think.
Yeah, well, it was hot. It was 100 degrees and hot for us Maine folks, that's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I brought you on because you've got 5 schools. You're growing like crazy. You're a very profitable owner. You've done everything really, really well. And I've seen firsthand, I've been coaching for about a year, so I know your business inside now. And you've done this as a single mom. So you take away a lot of excuses here. So you don't have anybody, you have only yourself to rely on. It's a lot of work. You work with your daughter who's in your business with you. So you've got a lot of things going, and you can be an example for a lot of people. That's why I wanted to bring you on. So why don't you tell us a little bit more about your schools and how you got into the childcare business?
Well, currently we have 5 schools, 5 locations. We started James Academy in 2014. So, but I'd been in the industry longer than that. So my story goes back to my childhood when my mother babysat my entire life. So when I went to college, I said, I'm not doing anything with kids because I've been around kids forever. And then when my daughter was born, I wanted to be with her. So what I did was I had the opportunity to become a director at a childcare center where my sister worked. And so I took the position, and then I hired my mother to work in the baby room and take care of my daughter. So it just became just the perfect situation for my daughter and my mom and myself. And then 3 years later, I opened my first school. That one was named after my mother. It was called Mama Carter's Preschool. When my mother babysat, they always called her Mama Carter. And so that was kind of our origin. And then in 2014, when we started James Academy, we opened a school per year for several years until probably 2019. And that's when I was like, we have to really stop and make sure our growth was just so quick that our foundation is strong. And then that's when I started looking for expert advice through coaching and other avenues like that. And so in 2021, when we started working on our newest location, I wanted to rebrand because it was just, that building was designed by myself and I wanted it to be uniquely its own brand. And so that one became Early Learning Adventures at James Academy. And so, and then when I was in college, my degree, because I was adamant I wasn't going to work with children, was in business. And then my master's degree is in child development. So it really created the perfect blend of having the experience in business as well as working with children. So that was our beginning.
Love that. And I love that story when you told it when we were there and got to see your, it come to fruition and how you progressed along. It's a pretty neat story. And since we work with our children, it resonated that you get to work with Morgan every day. We get to work with our children every day as well.
Yeah, it's a good story.
And you recently built an amazing new center that you personally designed. Can you tell the audience about why you decided to expand your business?
Well, that was, the expansion has just always been a part of my vision. And so as every step of the way, we just kind of like, the vision is just like, I don't want to leave with regret. I want to know, like, we were truthful to our vision, what we were, kind of innately knew to do, because it's just my journey. And so years ago, probably 12 or more years ago, I drew this childcare center on a piece of paper. We have that tucked away at home safely. And so it's just like, we tried to start it several times, and you can believe in fate or God, however one might experience it. But for me, it was just, God just kind of laid the path out. And then I met this person who introduced me to this other person who had a lot, and they wanted to build a daycare, specifically a daycare on that lot. And they kind of interviewed me and asked me questions about my vision and my experience. And then we all partnered up and created this building. But part of the vision always has been that children need an indoor play area. And it's really expensive to give away that square footage, but you just have to be committed to like the best experience for the children and the teachers throughout the day. And so we built this amazing indoor play area. And so that when it's raining or too cold or too hot, because often here it's too hot, the heat index gets really high and they can't go out. But the children get to go into this play area and play. And I designed it specifically to be towards the beginning, the front of the building. So when people would drive by, it's like, it's a marketing method for itself. And it just is just beautiful. And I'm just so proud of it, because everything I wanted, I put into that building, and just was like, and also part of the plan was like, we're building this brand. So everywhere you look in the building, even it's on the door plates to get in, to get access to the building, everything is consistent with the brand. And also I wanted to build a building after school shootings and just in the environment in which we unfortunately live these days, to build a building that was the most secure building that I've been in myself. And so we have it, when you get into the building, if you have to have access to get in, but if someone should get in and they something goes awry, we can go into a full lockdown mode, and the foyer is locked off and no one can access the areas where the children are. So we're really proud of that as well.
Yeah, very secure. And this play place that we've been talking about, it doesn't do just justice call it a little play place or even a play place, because picture walking into a McDonald's play place. Now multiply that times 2, put it up about 30 feet in the air with slides, and it's incredible. and it's a huge area. And if I was a kid, and I'm kind of a big kid, I asked you to go up if I can go up and go to slide down, and you wouldn't let me. So I wasn't too happy because I guess there's weight limits, it made me feel fat. But anyway, if I owned it, I would probably be sliding down that puppy. It is just cool. My grandkids would have such a ball in there. And driving by, it's the biggest thing you see driving down the road. Great marketing. You've done a great job. You should be darn proud. So
Thank you.
You obviously been doing this a while, and obviously an owner for 10 years, but you've been in the business for a lot longer. What advice would you give to somebody who's maybe wanting to expand? Maybe they're struggling in their childcare business. What's the best advice that you can give them?
I think the best advice that's kind of kept me going is just keep going. So know what your vision is, be consistent and clear about your vision, and then just committed to it and be able to pivot when necessary. And also realize that your journey is uniquely your journey. So, and what I mean by that is because people come along the way and they try to tell you, like, you can't do this or this isn't going to work. And you just have to be committed to what inside of you is your journey and where the path that you want to go to. And also, if you fall, pick yourself up, and you stumble, brush yourself off, but keep going. And then also ask for help from professionals when, like with Coach Brian, with you and Carol, like there's going to come a place where you need outside advice, because the people who are working with you are, one, they're not on the level that you are. They're your employees, so they're not someone that can tell you how to run your business. But you need the advice and the experience of coaches, and be willing to pay for that or whatever you need to do, because it's going to return. It's in your rate of return on that is going to be substantial. And so and always be willing to humble yourself and keep growing and keep learning.
Wow, a lot there. So that was awesome. I couldn't have said it better myself, Angie. That was right on. And there are a lot of people struggling out there. I talk to them every day. The economy might be good right now, but people are hurting. Inflation is eating away a lot, and grant money is ending, and some people are struggling. So that was great advice.
Thank you.
Angie, if you don't mind sharing, what's one of your business goals you've set for 2023?
Well, I think I talked to you guys a lot about this. So one of my greatest goals is to get my financials in better order. So it's not that they're receipts stuck in a closet and that's all I do. We do have QuickBooks. I do reference QuickBooks often. So, but we need, I think as Brian had encouraged me, we're kind of a big girl company now, and we need a big girl CPA to kind of help guide us. And so it's just a part of, I want to be able to clearly present. So if I want to expand further, or for future expansion or refinancing, but also be able to have my exit plan, so that if I go to exit and if I have an opportunity to sell, my financials are in such pristine order that it's very clear for the potential buyers to see exactly how much money they're capable of making with our schools.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. Love that. Great goals, and you're going to achieve them. And you're very coachable, so I know you're going to hit every one of them this year. So
I try to be.
what would you say your biggest mistake to date so far in your childcare business? I talk about my mistakes a lot. I wrote several books about our mistakes that we've made, mostly me, not Carol. So what do you say one of your biggest mistake was in your childcare business?
Well, I honestly don't really believe in mistakes. I believe in lessons learned. And I believe that, this worked or that didn't work. So being able to pivot and say, this didn't work at this time, but it might work in the future. And so I don't live in regret. I believe in being kind to ourselves and loving to ourselves. And I'm hoping, others understand, like, don't live in regret, but be kind to yourself. And, it just creates a much better world to live in.
John Maxwell says, sometimes you win, sometimes you learn. There
Mhm.
is no loss and mistakes. You're right. 100% love that attitude. Folks, I hope you just caught on to that. And you wonder why, okay, she's got 5 centers. She's profitable. She's a great business owner because she learns from the mistakes. She doesn't just make them. She doesn't repeat them. She learns from them and she braces them, doesn't
Mhm.
distract her. And that's the key. I've made a lot, but I've made a lot more wins than I have losses. You know, Babe Ruth,
Absolutely.
who's a home run king, was also the strikeout king. He could have focused
Mhm.
on the strikeouts or he could focus on the home runs. You focus on your mistakes or do you focus on the wins? And
Mhm.
some of the worst things that have happened to us has been some of the best things that have happened to us. And same thing with you. So great
Right.
insight, great mindset, Angie.
Absolutely. Thank you.
So you do one-on-one coaching with Brian. How has your experience in the Child Care Genius University helped your business grow?
Well, the main thing for me was I was just so impressed and touched when you guys came down here, because I'd had other people come and tour my schools, and a couple of them who were, potential coaches, I suppose. And I was kind of expecting the same experience that I had from the previous ones. But you guys came, you toured, and then you said, let's go eat. And I was like, okay, let's go eat. And then I thought, well, this is going to be it. And then you're like, well, you're going back to work. And I was like, oh, wow. So you guys went back with me and you spent hours working with me. And I was just so impressed with that. And I knew that I needed one-on-one coaching because I'm pretty introverted. So if I'm in a big crowd, I'm just going to kind of go to the back of the room and just kind of sit quietly. But I'm an always am learning from whatever experience I'm in, but I just knew I needed one-on-one. And so after that experience, it just made me more committed to you guys, and that I knew I could learn from you. I knew that you had the experience to that I would respect, because sometimes like-minded, what's the word, like when you're with your peers and they're on the same level as you, like that's not always who I want to get advice from. I want someone who's been there, who's done it, who's at a little bit, at least a little bit higher level than me, who can say, this is what we did and this is what's going to work. And then to know that you guys have been in childcare for so long, that was impressive to me as well, because again, that tells me that you have the experience that I can uh, gain from. And so, I was just so impressed and thankful and humbled that you guys came and spent that time with me. So I'm hoping that expresses what I'm trying to express well enough.
Well, our pleasure. And our dynasty clients get that level of service. They're VIP clients, and we love the site visit because it makes us better coaches. Now we know what your schools look like. We've met your staff
Mm-hmm.
members. We know where your weaknesses are because we've saw them and we've identified them. And now we know how to make you more profitable. And that's what we're working on over the next year. Um,
Right.
and we saw things that we would never have seen in a Zoom
Right.
presentation.
Right.
There's
Yeah.
nothing beats site visits. I visited probably 100 schools, and I've seen things and I learned from them too. I took some things away from your school that I am going to implement in my program. So I learned just as
Yeah.
much as you learned from me. And that's the great thing about coaching. Now,
Yeah.
we always like to ask a mindset question. And since
Mm-hmm.
you're one of the nicest people I've dealt with and one of the best mindsets of the people I coach, where's your happy place? Where do you go to be happy?
Well, I think I talked to you guys about our property when you were here. So either riding on my ATV on my 300 acres in the hills of Tennessee, or sitting beside the beach. And currently, I am sitting beside the beach, or I will be in a few minutes as soon as I finish this call.
300 acres. And
Mm-hmm.
some of the city folk, and they're like, oh my God, that's like a lot. Picture Yellowstone. That's probably like that, right? Got all this open field, you got a lot of things, and you have wild
It's pretty
animals on
large.
your property, and
Mm-hmm.
it's pretty cool. So the next time we come visit, I want to see this ranch. We didn't have time to
Yeah.
visit the ranch in there, but we look forward to that. So sounds like a great, happy place. And I know you're down in Alabama this week,
Mhm.
and you're on the shores of Alabama, the water, and we love the beach as well. So thank you for taking a few minutes to share so much personal stuff about yourself and your center, and to be a blessing to our thousands and thousands of followers. You've made a difference in other people's lives by spending some time with us here today.
I hope so.
You have. And thank you so much, Angie, and we will see you very soon. Have a great rest of your day.
You too, guys. Bye.
Bye-bye.
She is an amazing owner.
Yeah, she's doing great, and very profitable, has a great run program, great schools, and I just love coaching her. She's just phenomenal. So if you need help in your coaching business and would like us to help you, I could offer you a free coaching call. We could find out some areas where you're struggling and hopefully get you back on track. You're guaranteed to come away with 2 or 3 different ideas that you could take action on right away to help your business is struggling, and there's no obligation or cost for the call. Just go to childcaregenius.com/university and select on I'd like a free coaching call with Brian, and be happy to do that as a service to you. Now, this concludes episode 59 of the Child Care Genius podcast. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy life to spend a little bit of time with us.
And just a reminder to hit the subscribe button so you won't miss a future episode of the Child Care Genius podcast. See you next week. Bye.
Thank you for listening to the Child Care Genius podcast. If you enjoyed the show, please do us a favor and hit the subscribe button so you don't miss a future episode. Don't forget to visit our website at childcaregenius.com to see a list of services we offer to help grow your childcare business. Until next time, thank you for being a part of the Childcare Genius community.